Final Fantasy, released on the 18th of December 1987 in Japan, 12th of July 1990 in North America, follows the story of 4 warriors of light, holders of 4 orbs, which must be used to restore light to the 4 crystals of the elements to bring back balance to the world. These 4 warriors have amassed in Coneria, where the king has requested an audience. To start Final Fantasy, one must first make a party of 4 characters, with each having a choice of 6 classes available. The fighter starts with incredible HP and strength and has a great selection of weapons and armor available throughout the game, but can be somewhat expensive to equip early on. The thief starts with great luck, having an easy time running away from enemy encounters, but has a restricted amount of equipment available to him. The black belt has great vitality, which influences his unarmed combat, but should still use a weapon in the early game. The red mage is a balanced class, capable of decent melee attacking and spellcasting. More expensive than even the fighter, he has good equipment options, but misses some of the late game equipment, and some spells from both schools of magic, while acquiring new levels more slowly than specialists. The white mage is a white magic specialist, having access to anti-undead magic and party-wide healing, but doesn't hold much equipment. The black mage is a black magic specialist, having exclusive access to one-shot spells, but is also another class with minimal equipment choices. The party I chose for this playthrough is the following: John the fighter, Josh the white mage, Jing the monk, and Jack the red mage. I enter Castle Coneria. A guard there says that the king has been waiting for the 4 warriors of light. The queen of Coneria, Jane, is locked in her room, sad that her daughter has been kidnapped. A man in the castle says that Garland used to be a good knight. An old man tells that the castle's treasury was locked 400 years ago. Only the mystic key can open it, which was given to the prince of Elfland. Sure enough, the 2 nearby rooms are locked. Going upstairs, one guard says that Garland has taken the princess to a temple in the northwest. In the throne room, the king pleads to the warriors of light to rescue the princess from Garland. I go to town, there being a man that is from the port city of Pravoka, which is to the east, while an old man tells that the sage Lucan left this town to go to Crescent Lake. In this town are many facilities, including an inn for recovery and game saving, a clinic which can revive party members, a weapon shop that has an inventory of wooden staves, small daggers, wooden nunchuck, rapiers, and iron hammers. I buy a hammer for Josh, a nunchuck for Jing, and rapiers for John and Jack. There's also an armor shop that sells cloth, wooden armor, and chain armor. I buy clothes for Josh, wooden armor for Jing, and chain armor for John and Jack. There's an item shop which sells heal potions, pure potions, which remove poisons, and tents, which heal the whole party but must be used outdoors, and are another method of saving the game. Also present are white magic and black magic shops. White magic has the cure, harm, fog, and ruse spells, while black magic shops have the fire, sleep, lock, and lightning spells. Cure heals HP, harm damages the undead, fog boosts defense, ruse boosts evasion but only for the caster, fire and lightning deal single target elemental damage, sleep inflicts the sleep status, but due to a bug, monsters wake up immediately, while lock is bugged and boosts enemy evasion. I buy the cure spell for Josh and go to the field. I go to the field south of Coneria, where I encounter imps, a basic enemy that isn't much of a threat, but drops a decent amount of gold for the early game. I grind my party to level 2 for a good boost of HP, then return to Coneria, buying Jack the fire spell, and resting at the inn. I make my way to the northwest. Enemies along this path include grey imps, stronger versions of imps with decent HP and defense, wolves, having decent HP but no defense at all, they are also a bit evasive. And finally, mad ponies, high HP enemies that can attack twice, very threatening at this stage of the game. I continue my path until I find a dilapidated shrine. Near this shrine are more new enemy encounters, which can include bones, incredibly fragile undead enemies. Although they are weak to fire and vulnerable to harm spells, those are generally not necessary to deal with these. Just like other undead enemies though, they resist the elements of ice, poison, death, and status. There are also spiders which have good HP and evasion, decent attack but have no defense, and finally, creeps, which have high HP, attack, and good evasion. These enemies are weak to the fire element, so fire spells can be of great help. I enter the Temple of Fiends. Enemy encounters inside can include zombies, somewhat stronger undead enemies than bones, but still not very threatening. Ghouls, stronger variants that are capable of attacking 3 times and inflicting the paralysis status effect when doing so, very annoying, they should probably be dealt with harm spells or fire support. Grey wolves, high HP and evasion enemies with high attack, very threatening. And finally, werewolves. They lose some HP and evasion in favor of defense. These beasts are capable of poisoning on attack, which will drain HP even outside of combat. so pure potions are a necessity in areas with high werewolf presence, though at this point they are an incredibly rare encounter. I explore the temple, finding a room in the southwest with a chest holding a cap, a headpiece that can be worn by any class. I gave this one to Jing. In the northwest room are two chests, one holds a heal potion, the other a cabin, a stronger version of the tent, healing more while also allowing for game saving. The eastern rooms meanwhile are locked, any contents there being out of my reach. I go back outside, use a cabin, save, then go back inside the central room, where Garland is, initiating a fight with him. Garland himself has great HP, attack and defense, but facing only a single enemy at a time makes the encounter quite easy. After a few turns, he goes down. With him gone, I talk to the princess, who thanks us, and we are instantly transported back to Coneria Castle. The king thanks us for the rescue, who orders that a bridge be built to connect to the mainland, while the princess gives us her loot as her thanks. The man on the first floor says that the loot is capable of breaking the evil gate. On the town, the old lady says that there's a witch named Matoya that lives north of Coneria, while another lady says that Matoya suffers from poor eyesight, needing a crystal to be able to see. I buy the cure spell for Jack, while I get harm and ruse for Josh. Then I buy a tent from the item shop. I rest, then set on to the mainland. As I cross the bridge, the game marks the true beginning of our journey. With the orbs that once shone 2000 years ago, the Warriors of Light shall return peace to the world. I make my way to the north, finding a cave with 3 chests, holding a pure potion and 2 heal potions. I had been poisoned during my travel here, so I have to use the pure potion immediately. I talk to the witch, who can't see anything without her crystal, seems to be Matoya. I then talk to one of her magic brooms, which seems to be speaking gibberish, but is actually instructions in reverse. By pushing B select in the overworld, I can open the world map, with points of interest even being highlighted for easy navigation. I took quite a beating in this travel though, so I go back to Coneria, rest, then set out to the east. On the path to the east are new enemy encounters, including iguanas, which have high HP, defense and attack, their distinguishing feature being a higher critical hit rate than normal, and ogres, quite bulky and strong as well, dropping quite a good bit of gold. I arrive at the next town, Pravoka. The townspeople there ask for help, as the port town is infested with pirates. The facilities of this town include an inn, a clinic, a weapon shop that sells iron hammers, short swords, hand axes and scimitars, an armor shop that sells wooden armor, chain armor, iron armor, wooden shields, and gloves, and an item shop that sells heal potions, pure potions, tents, and cabins. The white magic shop has the lamp, mute, anti-lightning, and invisibility spells, while the black magic shop has the ice, dark, temper, and slow spells. Lamp removes the blind status, mute inflicts the silent status, anti-lightning grants lightning resistance, invisibility boosts evasion, ice inflicts elemental damage, dark inflicts the blind status, temper is bugged and doesn't work, and slow reduces the number of enemy attacks to 1. I don't buy anything yet and decide to face the pirates led by BK, who 6-9 pirates at me. In terms of power level, these pirates are comparable to imps, so this is not a very threatening encounter at all, especially since there's an inn nearby. I defeat them easily, getting a decent payout from it. I talk to BK again, who gives me the ship. I can now sail the ocean. With the pirates dealt with, the town is more lively. A lady says that the elves live on the other side of the sea, their prince being on a deep sleep that can only be woken up with Matoya's herb. A man with a mohawk explains that ships can only dock at ports, with the northern continent having no ports at all. An old man tells that he escaped from the town of Melmond, which is in trouble. A man also warns that many dangerous monsters are in the sea. I buy a short sword for John, as well as a wooden shield for him, as well as 3 sets of gloves for Jack, Jing, and Josh. Then I finally buy the invisibility spell for Josh, then leave town. I go to the ship and set sail. New enemy encounters include Odd Eyes, incredibly fragile enemies that have high evasion and are capable of using Gaze, a single target paralysis ability. Very annoying. They resist the fire and earth elements, but are weak to lightning, common traits among sea enemies. Then there are Sahags, evasive enemies that are also weak to lightning, with decent attacks. Sharks, the strongest enemy at sea, with good attack, HP and evasion. Kaizoku, non-aquatic enemies, although they are still resistant to earth. These enemies drop the most gold of sea enemies. And finally, Red Sahags, a stronger version of the Sahag. After some more sailing, I encounter a new port to the south. Enemies in this area include arachnids, very low attack enemies. They are capable of inflicting poison. Asps, which have lower defenses but are just as capable of poisoning. And finally, green ogres, strong enemies with high stats that drop a lot of gold. At this point of the game, your potions become more valuable. A good stash of them is necessary. I've made a little progress this time. I saved the Princess of Coneria from Garland at the Temple of Fiends, discovered Matoya's cave, arrived at Pravoka, ridding it of its pirate infestation, acquired a ship, and sailed to Elfland. The people here face a terrible plight, but the Warriors of Light will never shirk from their duty. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, as I help the people of Elfland.